I'm 1 week out from my ultra marathon, and I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, I want to talk about the training throughout this entire build. All right, so super quickly, I did the Philly Marathon on November 23rd, so it would have been a Sunday up the week before this. So I kind of took a week easy of just recovery. I did a couple like light swims and a couple like bike rides and maybe some walking throughout that week. But other than that, I was just kind of letting myself recover. And then I kind of got back into training on the 1st, where I did do for the month of December, just kind of, I wanted to see how much better I could get at biking. So you will see some VO2 sessions like there. And I did a sweet spot session there. And there's even some other work in there like bike threshold throughout this month and even into January. Because ultimately, running this ultra marathon isn't like my number one goal. I want to be better at triathlon. So I kept my training like that. And ultra specific work I did, I'll touch on that, is basically over time, I just wanted to increase my mileage. And I thought the only way to do that without risking injury would be to run slower. So all of my runs were very much zone 2. I kind of just targeted 10-minute pace until the very end of the prep. So you'll see on the weekends, I did back-to-back long runs. So that was, for this first week, I did 12 and then I ran 6. So like nothing crazy. But then I did 14 and then 8. And then I did 12, 12. I just kind of steadily increased. So 15, 15 at the end of December. And then as we got into January, this week was a little bit different. I was visiting a friend, so I didn't have as much running, but I wanted to deload. So I kind of used that as a deload week. No double long run, just kind of hit some easy miles and got to like 40 or so. And then got back into building my mileage. So we did about 50 miles and I did 16 miles and then 10. And then I went to my biggest week, just about, I think about 60 miles that week. So you saw easy 10 here with some pickups. I did 9 miles there. So that was back to back 10, 9. And then I took a day off, just did a bike session, trying to maintain my bike fitness at this point. And then I did like an easy run. And then this was my biggest weekend. I did a marathon and then I did an 8-mile back to back. That 8 miles was definitely tough. And I felt like if I tried to maintain and do that again the next week, or even try to increase, I was probably going to risk injury. So I decided to do a little bit of like a half taper for the 3 weeks out. And so that weekend was 18 miles and then 7 miles. But this is when I started to do a little bit more pace work. So between this week that we just went over with the marathon, during that marathon, I did 3 by 3 miles at 8:30, which was the target pace I wanted. And then coming into this pseudo taper week, I was also doing some pace work at that 8:30 pace. And then even on the 7-mile run that I did on Sunday, I had some faster stuff at 8-minute, which is basically like my upper aerobic pace. And then we got into like a more traditional taper. I kind of think I messed it up a little bit because I kept some intensity on the swim and on the bike. I mean, for the grand scheme of things, that's good for me. But if I was really just trying to just do this race really well, I probably would have backed off a lot harder on the biking. But that's fine. I did about 30 miles that week just running, still throwing in some race pace and then having a little bit more of a rest days. And then into the final week, I still wasn't feeling great. I kind of didn't feel great until probably around the 5th or the 6th. And the race was on the 7th, as you can see here. But I was just kind of feeling it out and I did the best I could. And yeah, I hope that helps kind of go over what I was doing. You can always pause and check it out. But I was trying to do this ultra prep while preparing for some other stuff as well. And I think this worked out pretty well for me. I mean, I'm as ready as I can be. I just don't think you can be fully ready for an ultra marathon when it's your first one. You just don't know what you don't know. But as long as your mentality is that you're just going to get up and keep going, then nothing will stop you. And that's kind of what it's all about. You're just trying to find out what you're capable of, or I'm trying to find out what I'm capable of. Okay, we're 3 days out. Not feeling the best. I'm currently stretching. It's a nice look for me. Anyways, I'm definitely
not feeling the best before a race right now. 3 days out, taper's not, I don't know, the body's just tight and the running is feeling kind of mid, but I think that's just normal for a taper. Usually by now I feel a little bit better, but that's just what it is. Usually I'm like visualizing a race before the race, and I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm not visualizing it at all because it brings up like anxiety for me for some reason. Like, this is a big race that I'm kind of scared about. I don't think you can be prepared for your first ultra. You just kind of have to bite the bullet and do it. And I'm going to enjoy it until I'm not. But I'm going to enjoy it as much as possible. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot. So I'm fully aware of that, but like it's what I want to do, and I'm super pumped to be doing it and to be able to and to have the health and like the body that can do it. Maybe we'll see. I'm kind of scared, but I think that's supposed to happen for the first one. And I signed up for a 52-mile run. I've never done a 50K. I was like, 50K just doesn't seem like enough but 52 miles seems like a lot. Either way, it's going to be a story. It's going to be an experience. I'll have my dad there cheering me on. He might pace me for a little bit, and we're just going to see what I'm capable of. I'm going to go out 8:30 pace and hold it until I can't. Hopefully that's 52 miles, but it's probably going to be a little bit before then. I think everybody kind of views themselves as somebody who can push through pain and stuff like that, because it's a nice thing to think about yourself, like, oh, I'm super tough, and like I think I can outlast people because that's just how I'm built. But you only know that to a certain extent, and you don't find out until you're in a situation where you really have to push. And I think I'm gonna be in that situation to test myself, so that's kind of exciting. First ultra marathon. There's Dad with the light set up, ready to go. You know, you have like expectations of what you're capable of or what something is like before you do it, and sometimes when you do it, you just don't. It doesn't follow through on what you thought it might be. Not in a bad way, not in a good way. It is what it is. And I say that because I had no idea what to expect. I knew I was nervous before, like as you saw, I was kind of scared, but I was excited at the same time. We're ready to go. I don't know what to expect. Pain, that's what I'm expecting.
There you are, my old friend. I've been waiting for you.
Yep. We're ready. 2 minutes. And then once you start, everything just kind of settles and you're there finally. You're in the moment, which is amazing. It was a blessing. And the day went really well. So, I mean, I felt kind of rushed in the beginning, just getting ready. It felt like 7 o'clock came so quick. We got ready and we went, and the first 15 miles was uneventful. Like, not trying to flex, but 15 miles isn't hard anymore to run. And it was a pretty decent pace. Like, I was between 8 and 8:30 per mile. Felt strong, felt fine. And came in, spent 2 minutes putting on sunscreen and whatnot, and then went out for the second loop. And the second loop at the end, I was starting to get kind of tired, which I was like, oh man, what do I do? But after sitting down after that second loop and getting back up and going, I felt good again for a little while.
Furthest you've ever run.
Yeah. We have just completed 50K.
What shouldn't you do after 30 miles?
Trust a part.
Never trust a part after 30 miles.
Then around mile 35 or so, my left calf kind of like, it felt like it pulled, but it didn't. A little like, hey, we're gonna pull if you keep doing this to me. That's what it was feeling like. That's what it said to me. So I decided at that point, like, it's not worth risking getting injured. Like, this is just for fun. I'm not trying to be the greatest ultra marathoner, not yet at least. But I basically just slowed down from there. I'm gonna close this. Hold on. There we go.
So basically I slowed down from there. I don't have any regrets about that. I usually run kind of more on the ball of my foot, so I decided, hey, I'm not gonna use my calf as much. I'm just gonna kind of heel strike and just jog it out. And it was funny because like I was still working. It's not like you stop running. Like I ran basically the whole thing. I ended up stopping to stretch my calves on those last 10 miles or so, like a bunch of times, just because they were getting so tight, and like my quad stopped working. Like stuff was not working anymore. But I think if I didn't feel that like pull, I probably would have kept running a little bit more, rather than just like jogging. But that's fine. Like, you know, the leg durability wasn't there. It was my first ultra marathon. I'm super happy with it. And honestly, the takeaways are that I am capable of doing these things. Like I knew I was, but I definitely didn't know like how durable I could be. And I think if I were to go down this path and like train better for these and not do triathlon training and like put time into some strength training a little bit more for the durability that I need, then I could have some really good results down the line. And I think I'll probably do more of these. It was a super cool adventure. The day went by so much faster than you might think. Like it was kind of like a time warp. And even, you know, like you go out for a long run on the weekend and those feel so long sometimes, and those are only like 2-3 hours. But then you go out for this run. I ran for like 9 hours, which is crazy. I'm fully aware of that. That sounds nuts to say, but it didn't feel like 9 hours. It honestly felt so much faster than that. And I just feel like it was a very like meditative experience. So it was also cool because my dad got to come and like cheer me on. He's my number one supporter for sure. And he was able to like run the last little bit with me too, which was cool. I'm happy that we got to do that together. And I remember just like finishing it up, like the last mile, I was just like so grateful to be able to be there. And like, usually at the end of the race, I'm like really, really dead. And this one, mentally, I was still with it. Like physically, like my legs were dead, but mentally I was fine. And like, I didn't have any stomach issues, and the fueling went really well the whole time. And I was just like really happy to be there and grateful that like I was able to do it. So plenty more to come for these, and eventually we're going to do that 100 miler. So do something that scares you, and I'll see you in the next video.